Hi, I'm Rosie. Welcome to my podcast called Yoga Pose. I'm Yoga Pose. My family used to call me Rosie Pose. And I feel like their nickname made me destined to become a yoga teacher. These episodes are a chance for me to share more of myself and my journey, as well as the benefits of yoga and meditation as I see them. So expect stories, sutras, and jokes, because I think I'm pretty funny and laughing is going to help us loosen up. Yoga isn't a game, but there's no reason we can't play. So being playful stops us striving, and we become explorers simply for the pleasure of it. This episode is called Planting Seeds. I'm lucky to have a little garden that I can grow and nurture. Each season I wait with such excitement to see what's going to come up, but unfortunately I take it a little personally if something doesn't grow well. My home is full of plants and every windowsill or shelf or table has plants on it. I have always loved plants, and I'm sure that being called Rosie has probably influenced my love of plants. But it's also a chance to nurture and observe growth. So I was given a Phalaenopsis orchid for my 18th birthday, and she went to university with me. We moved around quite a bit after that, and I've grown and changed as much as she has in that time. Orchids are interesting plants to look after, and lots of people think they're really high maintenance. It could be that people haven't learned what they like, or have they taken the time to understand? Orchids like clear pots because their root system needs light. They like about a shot glass of water once a week, and when I was a student I had many of these around. And what most people don't realise is that orchids take time off. So for about 3 months a year they'll just look like sad sticks in a pot. But they're having a great time conserving energy for the next bloom. Orchids are great gurus. Basically, anything I like, I'm like, oh, it's such a guru. But they actually are. They're easy to look after once you've understood them. And most people kill them with kindness. They love them too much, so they overwater them, or they don't give them clear space to just be. And sometimes people expect too much from them with flowers all year round. But why I think orchids are such great gurus is because they quietly demonstrate what proper rest and relaxation look like. They're unapologetic in looking shocking during their break. I don't have the luxury of taking 3 months off right now, but I have taken the lesson and I've got into afternoon napping. I teach most evenings, and obviously prancing around in leggings isn't easy on the body, so I try to rest a little during the day. I'm learning to be unapologetic when I take time off. So not responding to messages because I've turned my phone off, or not checking accounts when I'm away. I don't need to be so available and blooming lovely all the time. Oh, a flower pun, beautiful. Sometimes I'm in a contraction phase, right? So things are a little quieter. I'm less active or playful when teaching. And that creates space for expansion. Contraction is when I'm working on something big and then I expand and spring into life. And this syncs perfectly with what I have planned for my Spring Awakening weekend retreat. Taking some guilt-free time to recharge, to ease off the sluggish feelings of winter and put some spring in your step. It makes sense to withdraw a little during the colder months, ready for the expansion that follows. The investment is £280, and that includes all yoga, meditation, walks, food, and accommodation. We're in the heart of East Sussex countryside, so all the flowers, all the plants are going to be demonstrating what it looks like to move out of a period of rest and contraction. There's also an open fire. I don't know what else you need to know in order to want to join me. But I have put lots of details and photos on my website, which, as ever, is doyourownthing.co.uk. So as I record this, I'm noticing what an impact nurturing this little orchid when I was 18 has had on me. Learning to look after something else, to stick with it, and have faith even when things don't look like they're going so well. I recently got given a plant by a private client. I say I was given a plant. I adopted it. He was throwing it out because it wasn't doing well. It looked so sad and raggedy. I've since repotted it, given it some space to grow into, and I know in a few months it's going to look a lot better. In traditional teachings, Buddha discovered that happiness must be developed in the mind, and that ultimate happiness is not achieved by being self-centered. That self-clinging is the cause of all our problems. So when I cherish myself above others, that's what makes me unhappy. That's what road rage is, right? I value my time and my safety, my journey more than other people's, which is why when someone cuts me up, I lose it. I'm incredibly annoyed. Or rather, I used to be. I was such a moody driver. Years ago, I was commuting to an office job during rush hour, and what should have been a 30-minute drive was often more like an hour, and most of that was spent in first gear. I rarely let people out at junctions, so mean. I got annoyed with other road users and was pretty stressed and unhappy before I'd even started work. And the work was, by the way, supporting victims of crime, so it's really weird to be uptight. Anyway, one day, I was probably ranting in the car, and then I thought about how awkward it would be if I had known the person. I live in Brighton and Hove. It's a pretty small city. We're all linked here. So it's a very real possibility that I would know the driver. They could be my friend or someone I work with. And that thought changed everything. Honestly, from that moment on, I've never felt road rage or irritation when driving. Also, I cycle everywhere now, so that helps. But it really stuck with me that we're all connected. It's not just in Brighton and Hove. How awful would it be for me to be ranting at anyone? They might not be my friend, but they're someone's friend. They have connection to someone else. And self-cherishing is not an attractive trait. I was lucky in that instance in that my thoughts and behaviours changed instantly. For other things, it takes time and patience. So linking back to plants, you really have to persevere. The old, I'm not flexible enough for yoga seed needs to be changed. You need to plant, I want to live my best life. And let those seeds be nurtured by your yoga and meditation practice. Sometimes there are little periods of growth. Other times, not a lot seems to be happening. Oh my God, yoga and meditation is so like this. Initially, I was thinking is this relevant? Can I really link all of this together? Why have I started talking about my orchid? But now I'm oh yes, Rosie, you've done very well here, but not in a self-cherishing way. Anyone could have done this, of course. There will be some days when you practice and you're yes, this is amazing. Other days you'll be getting ready for yoga and be in a bad mood, but looking forward to your practice because you're it's going to give me a boost. And it didn't. And you have to sit with that. The uncomfortable feeling that yoga isn't a pill that's going to fix everything straight away. You might find relief. The more you water and nurture those seeds of contentment, give them space to grow, the more you get from your practice. So I'll conclude with the well-known Chinese proverb. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Thank you so much for listening, if indeed you still are. You can visit doyouromthing.co.uk to see my teaching timetable, workshops, and retreats. I would love to connect with you in person. This podcast is about building a community, so keep reaching out to me. Do Your Om Thing is my Instagram handle and Facebook page. Before you go, think about your karma, okay? You've enjoyed this episode, hopefully as much as I've enjoyed making it for you. So help a yogini out by sharing and leaving a review. I read every single comment and they inspire me so much. I'm not kidding, please leave a review. Don't make me sell out and get sponsorship and do adverts. Thank you so much for listening to Yoga Pose.